Hello Sparrows, and welcome to day 5 of 13 Nights of Fright here on Green-Eyed Starlet. So one style of video that you guys have been seeming to really love, and I've gotten a lot of comments that you guys want more of these, is me reacting to movies. So I thought I should do one for 13 Nights of Fright, but you know, Halloween themed. Quite literally Halloween themed, because we're reacting to the newest Halloween movie. I've never seen a Halloween movie before. I know, yell at me in the comments, I get it, I understand. I got a lot of things to say about it, so let's get started, shall we? Actually, before we get started, I have to do it. You know I have to do it. This video will contain spoilers. I'm going to be talking about the movie Halloween in this video, and it will be spoiled for you. I will be talking about the exact things that happen in the movie. I will be spoiling this movie. If you would like to not have this movie spoiled for you, stop watching right now, go see the movie and come back to this video, because I will be spoiling this movie. Have you been warned enough that I will be spoiling the movie? Good! Let's move on. So like I said before, I have not seen any of the previous Halloween movies, but I do know some things about them. So one of my favorite things at the beginning of the movie was the illusion of Jamie Lee being Michael Myers' sister, which apparently is something that's talked about in some of the other movies in between, but I liked the comment because her granddaughter was basically like, no, people made up that rumor just to make themselves feel better. And I thought it was a nice little allusion to it, a nice little Easter egg, I guess, in my opinion. I could be totally wrong. I don't know. Sue me. This is my reaction, not yours. So, how convenient is it that they're moving all of these patients the day before Halloween? Like, it wasn't just like some random day in April. No, it was like October 30th. Like, what are the odds? In my opinion, the most heartwarming part of the entire movie is the little boy who just wanted to go to his dance classes. Like, his dad's like, we're going hunting, and he's like, but dad, like, I love you and I love spending time with you, but can I just go to my dance class because I enjoy dance, it makes my heart happy? And I was just like, yes! And then he gets killed. Uncalled for. I actually kept track of how many deaths happened in the movie because I just really wanted to see. And I could be off, I could be wrong, but I believe he killed 17 people by the end of this movie. So he kills the bus driver, obviously, and at least one guard that was on the bus. He also killed the boy's dad and the boy. So there's 4 right there. So there's a joke that John Mulaney makes about Ice-T in Law and Order, that Ice-T is the one who's like the character of the audience because he's always like asking the questions, like, and like putting it out there, like all of the facts that we have, you know what I mean? And I felt like the cop in this movie, Halloween, was doing the same thing, because there's a moment where they're like, one name stood out to me, and it's like Michael Myers' name, obviously, and he's like, you mean to tell me that Michael Myers, the serial killer who killed a bunch of people on Halloween, is loose on Halloween? And I'm just like, it literally made me laugh in the theater. I'm just like, why are you spoon feeding us? We know what we showed up for. Can we just make a rule that like we should never ever ever go into gas station bathrooms? Like, especially when they're not inside the gas station. When you have to go outside into the gas, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Bad things happen there, always. I don't care if they're just dirty and you get a disease or you get murdered. Bad things happen here. I don't know. I just feel like women are so loud in scary movies, and I'm just like, shh. I was gonna be really upset if the lady was the first one he killed, but technically we were already 4 deaths in. Actually, we were already 6 deaths in, because then he kills the gas station clerk and the mechanic who he steals his clothes, I'm assuming, and then he killed the male reporter first and then the female. So we were 8 deaths in. But of course he had to come after the reporters because he needed the mask, and like without the mask, like, it's not Halloween. The mask makes him Michael Myers. Another point that made me laugh is they're doing a reporting on the prison bus crashing, and Jamie Lee is watching this news coverage in her house, but they say prison bus so many times. They had to have said it at least 5 times in that little segment. What was that? The bus that Michael Myers was on crashed? There were a lot of points in this movie that I don't know if were supposed to be humorous, but the way that they were done were kind of comedic, and I actually enjoyed that. Like, it actually made it better for me. I had no idea what I was going into, but I actually really enjoyed it. I really, really want a panic room underneath the island of my kitchen. Just saying. Put that in the blueprints of my new home. Jamie Lee is just effing brilliant. She's phenomenal. Yes! I think she was great. She just kind of reminded me of my grandma. I think it was the hair for the most part, but also just like, she was such a badass. Like, she was awesome. She was awesome. Come on, piano. There was a few times that the piano started playing, I was like, yes, piano. I'm hyped, because the piano was hyped. There was one point where it wasn't piano and it was like this weird rock music type thing. It was only one singular moment, and I was just like, get back to the signature piano, please. So once Michael Myers is out, he's got his mask, it's Halloween night, he's in a neighborhood, kids run right into him, and I'm just like, I'm like, hide your kids, hide your wife. Of course, how convenient is it that this just random shed has its lights on and it's open and it's got a hammer, and he goes in, and I totally thought this woman was like making a pie. No, she was making a sandwich. He kills her, bringing our death toll to 9. And then he kills this random woman who's on the phone, and I feel like that was an Easter egg to a different movie. I could be wrong. Her death was really gruesome, like right through the throat, bringing our death toll to 10. I loved the Bonnie and Clyde twist. Like, they mentioned it at the beginning, I was like, that's weird. Me being the person that I am, just assumed it was gonna be like sexy Bonnie and Clyde, and that's why she didn't want to tell her parents. But the fact that they gender bent it, like, that was brilliant. And that was brilliant for 2 reasons. It was brilliant because I wasn't expecting it, and I thought it was cute, and I thought it was well done. But also, that made sure Allison, I think that was her name, that meant that she was in pants and regular shoes instead of a skirt and heels. It was so nice because I was like, if they had put this girl in heels and a skirt running from Michael Myers, I would have been so upset because that's such an archetype, that's such a trope that we've seen so much, and I hate it. I hate it so much. So anytime I see like a high school party in movies, I'm like, I never went to a high school party like that. I'm like, where did you guys find these parties? Because like, I definitely was not invited to them. I had to make a joke about this because obviously yesterday's video was me carving pumpkins, so like, there are so many pumpkins in this movie. Like, some of the houses have so many carved pumpkins on their porches, and I'm like, oh my god, that must have taken forever. Vicky, the babysitter. Oh my god. Okay, first of all, Vicky is such a babysitter name. Second of all, the little boy she's babysitting is phenomenal. He's perfect. Of course, we get to the archetype of the teenagers having sex on the couch while one of them is babysitting. That's a classic archetype that I feel like is in all horror movies, so I feel like we need it, but also like, this area of the movie had so many like stereotypes and archetypes in it that I was just like, one after another, because you have that one, then you have the stoner scene, and then you also have the freaking laundry up on the laundry lines, and I'm like, so many archetypes here. Again, the little boy that Vicky is babysitting, I'm like, he's brilliant. The line where he's like, send Dave first, I'm like, that is me with my roommate's boyfriend. I'm like, send him first. Of course, we got that piano music, so you're like, oh my god. Also, the fact that he's like, someone was in my house, someone was in my room, and she's like, I checked everywhere. It's that moment when like the parents said that they killed whatever like bug was in your room because they can't find it, and they know you won't go to sleep unless they say that they found it and they killed it. That's literally what she's doing to this little boy, and I'm like, you literally didn't even look inside the closet, like the door was right there. Like, what? What? Wow, now you're dead. Now you're all gonna die. I don't know why this bothered me so much, but the sheriff does such a good job of announcing himself like an officer really would, but then he is awful clearing the bedroom. He just kind of walks into the room and is like, dead body. Doesn't like check to see if there's anybody else in the room, you know what I mean? And that really bothered me. I don't know why. Poor Dave. So now Vicky's dead and Dave's dead, bringing our toll up to 12. 12 people have now died. I was happy that Jamie Lee Curtis could shoot, and like, not only shoot, but she could land a hit. I don't want all my people in a horror movie to have been trained by stormtroopers. I want you to land a hit. Also, when she runs into Frank and she like hits him, like, I'm glad she didn't shoot him. If she hits him, all I could think about was the vine where like all of the deer are on the porch and the guy sneezes and the woman's like, way to go, Ron. He's like, what, I can't sneeze? I don't know why, but that was the first thing that popped into my head. And then we have Allison walking home with her ex-boyfriend's best friend now, and he's totally hitting on her, and I'm just like, stop. And he's like, let's go on a shortcut. I'm like, no, never go on shortcuts in scary movies. You just don't. Shortcuts are not a good idea, okay? No shortcuts. And then just a moment of cringe-worthy, like, high school lifeness is the cringiness of him like, oh, I thought you were sending me signals, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, and then he dies. And his death is very trick-or-treat-esque. The way that they have him on the gate and everything, it was very trick-or-treat-esque if you've seen the movie Trick or Treat, and I thought it was actually really cool. And like, I don't want to say the word beautiful because that's weird, but it was like very beautiful. It was weird. It was weird. That brings our death toll to 13 now. Although, going back for a second, he does say at one point to Allison, he's like talking about the dance or whatever, and he's like, all of these girls were feeding me guac in sexy ways, and I was like, I relate to that on a spiritual level. Guac is very sexy. And then they just hit Michael Myers with a car. Maybe it's the mask that's supernatural. Maybe it's the mask that makes him unkillable or whatever. I don't know. I knew that something was up with the doctor. Doctors in these kind of movies are always creeps. They're always freaks. And like, when he was talking about it, I just wonder what it feels like in this and the other. I was like, don't trust him. And then, of course, when they hit Michael Myers, the sheriff is gonna end it. The movie would be done. The movie would be over. And then the doctor kills the sheriff, which brings the overall movie death toll to like 14 now. But Michael Myers didn't kill him, so we're still at 13 for Michael. But I thought that was a beautiful plot twist. I thought the doctor putting on the mask was beautiful. I thought that they were gonna make Michael Myers actually be dead in that moment. I thought that that was going to be Michael Myers' death, is being hit by that car in that moment, and that the doctor was gonna pick up the mask and then all of a sudden become Michael Myers 2.0. Like, you know what I mean? Like a copycat kind of thing. Like if Michael Myers is actually dead and there's a copycat years later, like I accept that. I'll take that. But like Michael Myers living forever, I'm just like, what is he? Who is he? Is he human? Is he a ghost? Is he a demon? Like what is he? I don't know. Maybe if I saw some of the other movies I would know a little better. I don't know why, but the comic relief of the police officers in the squad car talking about their sandwiches, I'm like, yes, cultured cop. Like he was so cultured. He's talking about Vietnamese sandwiches and all this stuff and I'm like, but then they become idiots. The car and this and that. The girl's really smart when she's like, oh, well, Michael talked to me. Like, that was smart. She bought herself time. She stopped the whole situation. That was smart. I was like, way to go! Until she gets out of the car and I'm like, run! And then she runs into the woods and I'm like, wrong way! She'd just run to the house. Like, I feel like she would have been way better off. And then Michael kills the doctor by crushing his head. And his head explodes like what I imagine it would be like to stomp on a pumpkin. And I'm like, do heads really explode that way? I kind of want to look it up to be like, do heads explode like that? But then I also don't want that to be in my search history and I don't want to see examples of it because trauma. That brings our death toll up to 14 now. Directly after the doctor, he kills 2 cops, bringing our death toll to 16, and then he kills the dad, bringing it to 17. So his death toll is 17 for the movie, which is a very high number if you ask me. Him coming in through the door was such a like scary movie archetype, but I feel like it was probably a callback to past movies. And then we're inside the house. Jamie Lee shoots for no reason when she's in the basement, which really bothered me, but then she goes upstairs and starts clearing rooms, and she knows how to clear a room. Like she's like clearing a room, but then she like locks down the rooms, which we find out later is like a specific thing, but I'm like, why couldn't you just lock down all the rooms then? Because then he'd be stuck in whichever room he was in. Lock down all the rooms so you don't have to go check every room. The granddaughter is still running in the woods and you're like, honey, stop running. Like he's in the house, you're fine. There's a scene where they're in the house and there's a bunch of mannequins. All it could remind me of is the latest female Ghostbusters movie, which is why I wore the Ghostbusters shirt today. I didn't have a Halloween shirt and so I was like, you know, closest thing I have to a t-shirt reference here. So I borrowed this from my roommate, but like it reminded me of that, and so like in the back of my head I was like, I hate mannequins. And then this is something that my roommate brought to my attention, but then he pushes Jamie Lee or Lori off the second story or whatever. She falls on the floor. You think like, wow, she's taking a beating. I don't know if she's dead. I don't know what. And then he like turns away because they're screaming or whatever. And then he turns back and Jamie Lee is gone. And I'm like, yes, Jamie Lee is as supernatural as Michael Myers. Whoa, that was cool. I want to say Michael Myers is like the MacGyver of serial killers because he literally just picks up whatever he finds. He's like, hammer? Yeah, sure. Fireplace poker? Yeah, why not? So then you have the mom and the daughter in the basement, and I'm just like, why do you not have a gun in your hand? Like, I don't care if you're in the basement, I don't care if you're hidden, why don't you have a gun? And then he like finds them, like he knows where they are, and so he's like trying to push the like kitchen island over, and she's like, shh. I'm like, shush, nothing. He knows you're in there. He's not trying to feng shui the kitchen. Like he's not trying to move things around to make it more, you know, natural flowing. Like he knows you're in there. He's trying to get in there. So like, forget the shushing, grab a gun. And then we get to the best and the worst moment of the entire movie at the exact same time. We get the moment where the mom fakes Michael out and is just like, I can't do it, this and the other. And he steps into frame and she shoots him right there. Brilliant. That blew my mind. I laughed hard. I screamed loud. Like it made me so happy. And then you've got that weird silhouette of Jamie Lee in the background going, Happy Halloween, Michael. And I'm like, you ruined it. You ruined. I hate those little one-liners. They're so stupid. And we all know that they're stupid, so why do we keep putting them in things? And then my final thoughts are, yes to the trap. The trap was amazing. Yes to the 3 generations of women taking on Michael Myers. And they burn down the house, they're burning Michael, and they're standing there watching him. And first of all, I understand that they like want to see him die in a way because like this dude just comes back from everything. He gets hit by a car and he's like, hi guys, I'm back. But they're like burning down the whole house and I was like, get out of the house. Overall, wow, the entire movie was just phenomenal in my opinion. I was not expecting to be this impressed with it. I know this was a really long video, but I had a lot to say about this movie, especially since I just saw it. I had a lot to say. Okay, Militors, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you're not already. We still have 8 more days of 13 Nights of Fright here on Green Eyed Starlet, and you do not want to miss out on a single video. I want to hear from you guys. Have you seen the Halloween movie? Have you seen any of the Halloween movies? Let me know what you think about them in the comment box down below, and let's talk about movies, you know? I still haven't seen the other Halloween movies, but I've seen this one, so I can talk a little bit. Let's do it. Let's talk in the comments down below. As always, I love you guys so much. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. We're talking full moons and astrologies. I love you guys. Bye! I can't make that noise. Like, I need a piano.